Hello, my name is Lord Saitan, and this is my expanded edition of the tutorial. And there's a bit of a break here because there's another thing which you can use money of, but I think you should know some behind. Because if you look at your personal holding, you can see that there's these slots down here where you can upgrade, but there is also an empty spot, which is you can build a new holding. And you can build castles, cities, and temples. Castles, and there is a different kind of there's an important thing which people forget, because there is 5 different tiers there, which I explained before: barons to counts, dukes, kings, and emperors. But there's also different classes, or type of governments, because if you're not careful, you can grant holdings to your family, but you might accidentally give a holding to your heir, which makes him disqualified to inherit your realm. Because there is again 3 different types of government. There's actually 4 classes, but the one you're playing, which is this little icon, which I have not mentioned yet, is that we are feudal lord, which have it goes by the feudal society. But if we click on a city, and actually click on the city shields, because we want to get to this guy, which is how you if you have to get to a baron, this is the way you need to go, and click on the vassal. You can see he's a republic, he's a burgher, a merchant. He's a merchant, major of a city. Which, if you, as you can see here, he can hold city, castle, and forts and hospitals. That's something we don't worry about. But he can hold castle and cities. But he primarily holds cities. And if we look a bit closer on the feudal, you can see that we are unable to hold cities. We get a penalty if we try to hold a city. But we can build everything, but we get a penalty. But if you grant your heir, your son, daughter, a city, you will disqualify him from succession, because he now changes from being part of the feudal society to being a burgher. And that that's disqualify him, that he changes class, that he's no longer part of your class, but he's part of another class. The same goes if we look on this guy. He is our bishop. He's of theocracy, which you can also see there's they also can hold castle, but they are primarily a theocracy. They primarily hold temples, and again, it goes the same way if you give a family member an heir to your if you give them a temple, he will lose his place in the succession and be disqualified, because again, he will change the class. He changes government type, but he changes class of what he is. That he's no longer part of the feudal society, that he's part of the theocracy, clerical. And the 4th class, which is not really a class, but I see it is one of those landless guys as this guy. He's he's part of the feudal society, but he's a courtier. He doesn't have any he doesn't belong to anyone. And you can if I had a city or a temple or a castle, I can grant him anything, any one of those, and he will change his class. Well, of course not from feudal to feudal, but if I grant him a city, he will become a burgher. If I grant him a temple, he will become a clerical, a theocracy. And it's just I find it important to mention this. Because there have been a couple of persons which have made this mistake, and I made it in when I started playing this game. I have several times just thrown away the most perfect heir because, well, I want to give him something, and gave him a city or a temple, and didn't think about it. Especially the city part, I didn't know, and again, I just think it's an important issue, important thing to know, that there is these three different types of government, or well, four classes as I like to call them: lords, burghers, clerical, and courtiers. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.